Oh, oh, I'm feeling beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
What's up, everybody? What is going on? What up, WTF Nation Radio? I am the actual King Smith, and this is the Sports Bar. I have a new setup today, and for some reason, I still couldn't get it right. But that's all right. That's all right. We're going to make things happen over here today. I'm running a solo show today as Coach hypothetically tore his ACL, MCL, trying to play adult pickup basketball at the YMCA and requires surgery, and it's going to be out for just 1 week. So we're going to run a solo show here today. If you are new, the Sports Bar is a live stream hosted on WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF moments in which myself, King Smith, a U.S. Air Force veteran, and Coach, a U.S. Army veteran, comes on here live across Facebook, YouTube, X, and Kick. And we talks all things sports and just life in general. I try to come at y'all with some funny things, show some funny videos, share some laughs, and just kind of kick it. All right. We're getting through the NFL postseason. There's a game going on right now in which the Kansas City Chiefs are traveling away in a playoff game up in Buffalo to face the Buffalo Bills, and I believe we're close to halftime on that. Let me see if I can get this thing up here, all right? Let's do this. Boom. Woo-hoo. And let's do this. Bow. All right? And if this is right, let's see if this is right, we should be at the appropriate time and score in this game. So I see we have just under 6 minutes left. Buffalo is leading 10-6. I think the lone score came from Josh Allen running it in, which is what he does typically from about 5 yards out. Now, I'm going to try something else too. Hopefully I don't screw this up. Let's see if I can get the chat showing to make sure that I'm not struggle streaming over here. All right, we got the chat. Oh, man, I see some people in the building. We got Richard Bronco. He said, okay, who got the 4 inches? 4 inches of snow? Pop Culture Warrior said, we got to work on that intro. Hey, man, I thought I had things situated over here, and things didn't necessarily work out the way that I wanted to. But you know what? The show must go on. All right? Richard Bronco said, what do you think about Mayo being in charge of the Patriots? Hey, man, we are going to talk about that. There's a lot of NFL news and updates, and I do have that on the docket to bring up as well. Oh, no, the score is not right. Let me hit the refresh button. Okay. Yeah, I got to hit the refresh button. My score is not working right. All right. Hey, OBS, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? See, I thought I had something right. There we go. All right. Hey, look. That was supposed to stay updated, and it did not. All right. But that's okay. Michelle said, keep that same energy. I definitely will. We got let me see. Let me make sure I can say that name right. I don't want to mess up your name. Jovelyn Garupo said, good morning. Hey, good morning. I appreciate you popping in. All right. So a couple of things. If you follow the Sports Bar on Facebook, I made a prediction in that I stated who was going to win all 4 games. Right now, with Detroit beating the Buccaneers earlier today, I'm 3-0. I'm 3-0. King Stradamus is 3-0 up in this thing, and I'm looking good for it. I should have bought me a Powerball ticket. All right? So I appreciate y'all tuning in. The Sports Bar is live every Sunday, 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Wherever you're tuning in, I give you a salute. All right, so now that we got everything updated, and I think everything is good, let's get into the show. All right, first thing I want to do is I'm going to ask y'all, how y'all doing? I'm going to tell y'all how I'm feeling right now.
Oh, oh, I'm feeling beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Shout out to Cuz. Cuz sent me that a while ago, and that's Mike Tyson telling everybody that he feeling beautiful. Let's play that again.
Oh, I'm feeling beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. I don't know what that dance move is, but it is definitely something that has me cracking up over here. Now, it's that time of the year where everybody has New Year's resolutions. Former athletes like myself like to think that I want to get out and go back and get in shape. And usually around January, when you go into the gym, you see all types of people, right? Coming in with their New Year's resolutions. You'll hear New Year, New Me, all of that jazz. And sometimes you'll see some strange things, all right? Now, I don't know if this dude is former military, but y'all tell me what this move is. I call this move the Hear Ye, Hear Ye. Let me reload my musket on y'all. What war is this dude training for? What is this move? Hey, let me work on my Tell me you're a U.S. Army veteran without telling me that you're a U.S. Army veteran. That this dude is working on the Hear Ye, Hear Ye. All right? That is insane to me. If I ever showed up and a dude was doing this move in the gym and you hear about a shooting on the 6 o'clock news, chances are that dude did it. I would go find wherever this footage came from, go to that gym, and arrest that man. What do y'all call that move? Let me know. Am I tripping? Or is this dude really looking like he's training to go storm the Capitol again in 2024 because he's not happy with how the election results are going to come up? I don't know, man. I found that video hilarious. All right, dude training for the ready up drills. All right, hey there, soldiers, I'm gonna need y'all to ready up. All right, I got one more video that was sent to me that I thought was pretty good too. This one was sent by a viewer of WTF Nation Radio, which if you want to send anything in, it's sports related or generally sports related, you can send it to the actual King Smith Facebook page, King at WTF. I don't know my email address. You know what? Let me just hold on. I don't know if y'all can hear my sound effects. I totally just screwed that up. Whatever my email address is, I'll find it out and put it up later. All right. But let's check out this. Some of y'all that have kids really, really hope that your kids grow up and have some semblance of athleticism, because those that aren't get bullied. Okay? Those that aren't get bullied. Let's take a look at this kid, and y'all tell me if this is the most unathletic kid you have ever seen.
I'm coming in hot.
I'm trying to figure out how. Let's run that back, but I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit so we don't get copyright stricken. Oh, man. With the Crocs on at the YMCA gym, the ball 3 feet from his face, and he still missed. How, Sway? How? I mean, why? Is he blind? I'm convinced that this kid is blind trying to hit this. Hey, look. Although I was a really good, I ain't gonna say really good. Let me not toot my own horn, because it wasn't like I was an all-state running back. I was a good running back in high school, all right? I didn't start playing sports really until 8th grade. And the only reason why I did, which is the motivation for most young men in school, is girls. See, when I grew up, if you had a girlfriend in 8th grade or in high school, people would wear your jersey on game days or whatever. So for me, I'm looking at all of the cool kids wear their jerseys, and they quote unquote girlfriend rocking their jerseys, and I'm like, hey, let me put two and two together here. Apparently, if you want to be somebody, you need a jersey. So that's what motivated me to play sport. I started out playing basketball. Now I'm 5'7.5". I've been this same height since 8th grade. All right. And I've got the physicals to prove it still. I still got my old paperwork. I say I'm 5'8", more like 5'7.5", but that's neither here nor there. And I tried playing basketball first. Sucked at it. Could not figure it out whatsoever. Basketball is just not my sport. But then I got into football because I'm like, well, if I can't play basketball, what's next? So I tried out football, and football actually seemed to be my jam. But if I had a son and my son was this unathletic, I would take him nowhere. And it's the way he got up and like rubbed his head too. Oh man. It's just everything about that kid. I bet his dad is just as bad as he is too. All right. So Michelle put my email address, which, hey, yeah, y'all can send stuff to my personal email address as long as it ain't got a virus. That's easy. That's the easy one. theactualkingsmith@gmail.com. Shout out to Laura Wood, said, go Bills. That's what I'm talking about. We got a Bills fan up in here. Okay. Who else we got? Shout out to Heath in the building, said, go Browns. Hey, that was tough, man. That was tough. I kind of would have liked to seen the Browns have a underdog run, much like the Detroit Lions is doing right now. Okay. My team is still in it. Go Ravens. Go. Lamar Jackson looked fantastic yesterday. All right. And if your teams got beat between yesterday and today, hey, at least, you know, you can root for the Ravens. All right. He said, I played baseball in high school, and now I coach fast pitch softball. And let me tell you, fast pitch softball, that thing for me is hard to hit. Myself and CQ of Pop Culture Warrior went to a batting cage because he thought he was just about to be the next thing smoking in this softball league. And there's footage out there somewhere. I think it's on the Sports Bar's Facebook page of me getting out there doing my thing. Because you know what? Even though I sucked at basketball, I'm still an athlete. At almost 40 years old, I still could go out and do some things, all right? Now, I say all of that, and if I go out and I play against Heath's fast pitch softball league, them pitchers are probably going to have me go 0 for 80 stepping up on the mound. But I'm still going to talk king trash regardless. All right. Leah said, was there an important episode of sports on today? Yes. Yes. Everything we cover here at the Sports Bar is important. Biggest thing being this game right here. Wait, why is that being blocked? Something's blocking that. I don't know what's blocking my finger right there. All right. All right. So let's get into the show. Actually, wait, do I have one more video? Oh, I do have one more video before we get into the topics for today and cover some interesting sports news and updates. All right. We have some NFL coaching carousels. We have some coaches breaking NCAA all-time records. We have a new national anthem that's going to be sung that's stirring up some controversy. All right. And we're going to talk about it all. But before we do, let's get into this last video of the day. It's a sports related video. And I'm just curious what this dude was thinking here. Take a look.
Oh, that's coming back. It's coming back.
Turn it down. Boom, he gone.
It's coming
Put the ball through his legs and then falls. Not only does he falls, but he hurts himself. Let's run that back. Run that back. Good catch. Broke away a tackle.
It's coming back.
With the go showboat, fumbled the ball, lost it. It got recovered by the other team, and he got hurt. I mean, all the things that could have gone wrong went wrong.
It's coming back.
If you're a coach, you instantly put that dude on the bench. Instantly. That should not have happened, and that made no sense whatsoever. All right? No sense whatsoever. All right. Let's see. He said 13 to 18-year-old girls are the meanest things on the planet. Just ugly most of the time for no reason. I couldn't do it, Heath. I couldn't do it. I know a couple of guys that have coached all girls and all women's sports. Okay. And the stuff that they've shared, I'm just like, ain't no way. I've been a locker room type dude my entire life. Almost my entire life. You know, being that I played sports in high school, I was in the Air Force for a couple of years, and I've stuck around sports even in my, I'm going to call this the second quarter of my life. And the stuff that I'm hearing, what they talk about, or how, quote unquote, the girls' locker rooms and the women's locker room goes, I'm just like, man, why? Why? All right. I will never understand it. This dude right here. All right, first things up for the day, we're going to congratulate Coach Tara Vanderveer. And if I said her name wrong, my blunder, all right? My blunder. But Coach Vanderveer is the current coach of Stanford. She has now passed Coach K as the winningest coach in all of NCAA history. She is currently coaching the Stanford women's basketball team, and they recently beat Oregon State 65-56, even without their top player. And it gave Coach Tara Vanderveer her 1,203rd career victory, passing Coach K, who has held the record since 2019. Now, I want to add this in here. For those of y'all who don't know who Coach Vanderveer is, that lady has been coaching as a head coach since 1985, and she is 70 years old. She has been a head coach for 36 years. Now, it's still a milestone. Don't get me wrong. And I hope you're hearing me say this and you're not taking away, or you hope that I'm not taking away from her accomplishment. Because one of the best coaches in NCAA football has recently retired from my former Crimson Tide, being the head coach over there. And I can't tell you how many championships Tara has won, all right? But to be able to have the vigor and the life to coach damn near 36 years, because I was born in 1984, so she's been a head coach since 85, like 38, 39 years, because I'll be 40 this year. That's insane. That is insane, all right? So that's an accomplishment in itself. She was inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame in 2011. She's in her 38th season, all right? After a previous stint at Idaho from 78 to 80, Ohio State from 80 to 85. She led Stanford to 3 national titles, 90, 92, and as recent as 2021, and 14 NCAA Final Fours, all right? 34 trips to the NCAA tournament out of her 38 years as a head coach. Okay. So, hey, let's give a big congratulations and clap it up for Coach Vanderveer. All right, at 70 years old, I'm real curious when she's going to call it a day. All right. Let's take a look at the chat here. Oh, let me take this out. Let me take a look at the chat here and see what we have. All right. We got Pete in the building. He said, hey, brother, Captain Wayne Baconator is in the building. Our resident Chiefs fan said, go Chiefs. It looks like we have an update. It is now the start of the third quarter, and the score is 17-13. All right. The Buffalo Bills have 2 rushing touchdowns by Josh Allen from 5 yards and 2 yards. And Travis Kelce, who's been kind of silent over the last couple of games, has found his way into the end zone as well. He scored just before halftime to give the Chiefs 13 points on the board. All right. So I have the Buffalo Bills winning this game. And if they win, that'll put me at 4-0 for all of my updates that I had said, or all of my predictions that I said would occur in this game or in this week's preseason. So that's what I'm hoping on. That is what I'm hoping on. All right. Now, y'all know that during the sports, most sports typically you will have people stand up and play the national anthem, at least sports that are being played in the United States, which is where I reside. All right. Because y'all know WTF Nation Radio has viewers and listeners from all over. But it has been announced that Lift Every Voice and Sing is also going to be sung at this year's Super Bowl. And if you're wondering why I'm talking about this, it is because it is known as the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. And it has stirred up some controversy, all right? Let me, assistant, I need you to scroll down for me. Okay, so the NFL had announced that its Super Bowl lineup for this year will also include Lift Every Voice and Sing, which is also known as the Black National Anthem. It has been played in each Super Bowl since, I don't know Roman numerals, all right? So I'm going to have to learn me some things over here. But this year is going to be sung by Grammy-winning R&B singer Andra Day. And I hope I pronounced her name right. Andra. Let me ask y'all randomly. If you see 2 A's, like Aaron, is it Aaron Rodgers, long A sound, or is it Aaron Rodgers? Anyway, I say it's Aaron, all right? But some people, when they read this news or they heard about it, they got on and they spoke out. And somebody goes, while you're at it, how about the University of Michigan fight song? One other person on X, formerly known as Twitter, said, bro, we're American. Why the F do we need Lift Every Voice and Sing? All right. Others wondered what would happen if Americans had a white national anthem. While somebody else had a rebuttal and said the U.S. already has a white national anthem. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I love this show. I can come on here and talk about whatever I want to talk about. I got the green light to cover a lot of different things on here. And I don't know, I thought this was interesting. Somebody else who called our national anthem the white national anthem, and I hope y'all can see my air quotes, said that it was written by a racist enslaver who believed that black people were inferior and fought abolitionists in the courts. All right. Which our national anthem is written by Francis Scott Key, which I believe is from Frederick, Maryland, which is where I live. I'm not sure if he's from here, but I know that the Francis Scott Key and that name is pretty much throughout my city and state. Okay. And somebody pointed out that it didn't become our national anthem until the 1930s, partially because the song itself has racist lyrics. Is that the truth? Is that the truth? I'm asking y'all. I don't know. Are people out here making stuff up? Can we not just enjoy sports without it being too crazy, having too many different underlying things on it, right? There was controversy, speaking of other controversy. Oh, man, the Kansas City Chiefs just scored. There was controversy with the New England Patriots coach being a person of color, in which traditionally the head coach for the Patriots, I believe he's the first head coach that's had some color to them. All right. And in my opinion, screw what his color is. Mayo, the new head coach of the Patriots, now that Bill Belichick and the Patriots have decided to part ways, is a fantastic hire. He was a former player there. He's been coaching there for a while. He's got the pedigree for it. I don't think he's going to turn New England around just like that. But the people that have racist undertones about the hiring crack me up. Because I have a lot of filters set for sports news, I've been getting a lot of different things coming in about that one in particular. But this one also cracked me up as well. The NFL started to play the Black National Anthem since the 2020 season following the death of George Floyd at the hand of Minneapolis police officers. All right. So I have no issues with the song being played. Okay. I don't think that there should be a segregation of songs claiming songs. But that's just me. Let's come up in the chat. Y'all tell me what y'all think, all right? Let's see if we have something in the chat here before I move to the next thing. Michelle early said that that's her soror. That is your sorority sister. And she said that it's pronounced Aaron if you use Aaron. What? And Francis Scott Key is either from Frederick, Maryland, or he died in Frederick, Maryland. We don't have any historians that watch this show. Interesting. Hey, we got Estella in the building. That's our viewer from Panama. Said good night, kisses from Panama. Hey, my lady's watching the show, so I can't blow you a kiss back. I need to get an emoji that I can play that'll at least play it just for you, because I see her send that message, and it makes me happy that somebody from Panama is watching the show. I know there's a Germany watcher here. People watch WTF Nation Radio all over. All right. Michelle said, everything has a racist undertone. When this country was founded by ... Never mind. I like it. I like it. And thank you. Said that the Roman numeral LV, which I'm pretty sure is not LV, but it looked like a LV, is 55. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate you. All right. I wonder how long the delay is from when I talk to when the stream is being shown. What else do we have here for today's show? I'm going to ask y'all a question. Former NFL player Antonio Brown. If you don't know who he is, he has, I don't know, about 50 of them kids. I think all by the same lady. I'm not entirely too sure. But he got on and he posted something. And I thought it was interesting. Let me make sure that I have that queued up here. I don't have it queued up. Well, we're going to have to do this on the fly. Why do I not have the Antonio Brown thing queued up? I need to fire my assistant. Okay? So we're just going to do this on the fly. Now, Antonio Brown had a post that he put up, and I'm just going to read it just because I thought it was interesting overall. Let's do this here. Boom. Okay. He said, I'll never understand being black and taking care of a colonizer. To which somebody responded, if you see at the very top, is that you? Showed a picture of him, his on again, off again lady, because they're not married. They were engaged at one point. A lady by the name of Chrissy K. I forget what her last name stands for or is. And usually when people put up something and they say, Is that you? It's a direct rebuttal to something that you said. Now, I'm trying to figure out what Antonio Brown's post was meaning to to say. Because he said right here, y'all can read it. This is from his own X account. I'll never understand being black, which he's black, and taking care of a colonizer. Now, y'all know what he mean by colonizing. But then when you look at his baby mama, does she not fit that category? AB, AB, if you want to call in to explain yourself, I will send you the call-in number, brother, because I need to know, what were you thinking when you wrote this? That's what I want to know. What do y'all think? What was Antonio Brown trying to indicate when he wrote this? All right. Let's see. He said when it comes to the national anthem, he said that they can play whatever they like at any sports events for all I care. 1, I'm not racist. 2, professional sports could just be pay-per-view in my opinion. But I love your show. Heath, thank you. Thank you very much. That warms my heart to hear. All right. Daniel Buck Cagle, is that how you say that? Said, Mama, I'm a criminal. Hey, I don't know what that means. Hey, we got the sports bar comment, said, oh, my back feels like Antonio Brown's career. Destroyed and effed up. Hey, coach. Hope your back, ACL, and MCL feels okay, because that's what I told the people was happening. I made all of the ACL and MCL stuff up. Hope I don't jinx you this week. Be careful if there's ice where you're at, because if you do break and sprain and tear your ACL and MCL, I will feel bad. Because Keisha Thomas is on the tear. I am 3-0 with my predictions. All right? 3-0 with my predictions. Do we have any other chats talking about Antonio Brown before I move to our next topic? No, I do not. All right. So let's talk about some playoff updates here. Earlier in the week, yesterday, time has been flying. All right. Yesterday, we had the Baltimore Ravens dismantle the Houston Texans, and I was all for it. As a Ravens fan, that made me happy. And I predicted that the game was going to be a tight game, but Lamar Jackson, who everybody's talking about as the current MVP, just simply went off. All right, he scored 4 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 2 in the air. And if the season were to stop now, it's hard to say that he didn't make a case for himself to be this year's MVP. I know his stats aren't completely gaudy, right? But with what he's doing and how not only other players but other coaches talk about how he takes over a game, you might as well give it to him now, all right? The surprise game of this week so far is Green Bay losing to San Francisco by 3 points. It took San Francisco with a minute left in the fourth quarter to score to kind of put that game out of reach. And Jordan Love, if it was almost like if Jordan Love was Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, Aaron, you would have felt as though with that much time, because they had all 3 timeouts, that the Packers could have came back and won that game. But Jordan Love made one of the stupidest passes, and I wish we had the copyright or the license to be able to show stuff without Facebook zucking us or YouTube giving us the kibosh. But it's like Jordan Love was going out there and throwing the ball with his eyes closed right there at the end. He looked impressive in the prior week's game and towards the end of the regular season, but in my opinion, his lack of experience in big moments made him look like a very, very young quarterback. Other than that, Jordan Love seems to be the answer for the Packers. And when we talk about sports betting later on, the 49ers is one of the teams that I have going to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to explain why when we talk about sports betting. All right. He said, I made chicken and sausage gumbo and it's slapping. Save me some, man. Save me some. Daniel said, Brett Favre, the old gunslinger. What a legend. Over. Absolutely. Hey, he was definitely a gunslinger. Apparently, in his personal life, he was also slanging something else, if you know what I'm saying. My sound effects aren't working, man. I need my sound effects. All right. Coach said, made up an injury just like I made up Bama's championship resume. You know what, Coach? This is what you would look like if you were showing. Let me see if I can bring you up. Hey, y'all, there's Coach behind me right now. Sort of kind of Coach. That person's talking, but it's talking based off of me. Coach, that's what you look like. If people want to know what Coach looked like, bam, that's Coach right there over my shoulder. But you know what? Bye. Oh, man. Slanging the Wang. Exactly. Brett Favre was out there slanging Wang to a lot of different people when he was out there traveling. But that's neither here nor there. He said, I've got to recover a vehicle in Birmingham tomorrow. Going to be in my old stomper grounds. Yeah, man, Birmingham's not too far from where I grew up at. For a lot of the older Army veterans that are listening or watching, I'm from Anniston, Alabama. There used to be an old Army base that was there that got bracked in the late 1990s. Prior to that, Anniston used to be jumping in Anniston, Alabama. It's also got some pretty decent history there too. Some good, some bad. But once that Army base got bracked, the town just went to shit. Okay. And if you are familiar with the U.S. federal workforce, the Anniston Army Depot, which I believe does like tank supplies and stuff, is there. And it's one of like the largest employers in the city. If that were to go, Anniston might as well just cancel Christmas or fold up shop. Yeah, but the Anniston Army, yep, that is my old stomping grounds, man. That is my old stomping ground. All right. I need to get my next thing played up here, so bear with me. All right. Actually, we're about to get into the sports betting. But I need to remind y'all how I feel today. All right? How I feel today.
Hello, I'm feeling beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
The last thing that we're going to have for today is going to be a short show. I'm trying out my new setup. I still got some work to do. But the last thing that we're going to cover for today, and then I'm going to do like most of y'all here and watch the rest of this Kansas City Chiefs Buffalo game, in which Travis Kelce scored again to put the Kansas City Chiefs up 20-17, and we are almost at the end of the third quarter. How legit is sports betting? I used to think that sports betting was fair, but I'm starting to think, I almost said see and think, and it almost came out as stink. I'm starting to think that it is kind of rigged. I think that there is a script, so to speak. Okay. And I've got two pieces of evidence that I'm going to show that leads me to believe that there is a script to sports betting. All right. So when you take a look at this graphic that I'm displaying here, on the left in the Jets jersey, you see Le'Veon Bell, former NFL running back. I don't think he's ever going to get a shot to play on a team anymore. His career is done. He made up a post in which he showed that, here's the one. Here's the correct one right here. This is him in his Steelers days in the black and gold down there. Kyrie Irving over the last couple of games have been going off. Over 30 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in each of the last 5 games. And he made this tweet and said, I could place a bet right now and end all this shit. And what he means is that, hey, I bet if I put my money on something, he's been going on this tear, chances are the moment I put money on it, that's when he's not going to do what he's been doing, right? Because if you see somebody put together a string of 2 games, 3 games, okay, 5 games, them doing something like this and putting up 6 games would be ridiculous. I think Jokic last year or 2 seasons ago had a pretty nice span where he had an 8-game monster stat sheet where he was like over 36 and 6 was about his average. But that's what he does as a MVP type player. Kyrie Irving is almost as old as me, I think. So Antonio Brown said, I could place a bet right now and end all this shit. And he followed that up with this. He said, does the Mavericks play tomorrow? Now just watch. I'm going to prove to the world I can slow down Kyrie. I'm betting the over. I don't care what the number is. So what he means by that is this. If Vegas sets Kyrie scoring at 32, all right, or they could have set it at 60, then him betting the over means that he's going to score, I want to say it's either at 60 and over, or it could be 61 and over. I'm not entirely too sure about that. Whatever, semantics. But if he bets the under, then it's anything under what Vegas sets and it hits, then you hit whatever the payout is, whatever the odds is. So in the very next game when Le'Veon posted this, where he's saying, I'm going to bet the over, Kyrie only scored 12 points. So if you bet the over, and let's say it was 20-28, and you bet the over, and Kyrie turns around and scores 12, you don't hit. The house wins. All right, so that's how that works. And people try to take a look at trends. Some statisticians out there will just simply crunch the numbers. They don't necessarily care about what your name is or anything like that, but they'll go by like the minutes that you're playing. Have you been rested? Whatever, all of that jazz. And they're putting money on this stuff. And money's being changing hands between the sports books and all of this stuff. And if you would have bet the over on this, you would have lost. Now, this is kind of anecdotal. This is an anecdotal example. But the fact that he publicly came out and said this, I bet I could place a bet right now and end all of this, and followed that up publicly, can lead people to believe that sometimes, it's like they know what's going on. They write the script to try to rake in as much money as they can. And if y'all take a look, the new Super Bowl logo, I'm going to bring this up here, and then we're going to end the show. I'm going to see if I can save it real quick and bring this up, because it's leading people to believe that, hey, we already know what the new or what the next Super Bowl is. And people put this prediction out early, and it's starting to look like whoever put up that prediction is right. Okay. So if you take a look at this logo right here, let me make that bigger. The past 2 Super Bowls, the Super Bowl logo had a certain color theme to it. And people started associating it with the teams that were playing in that year's Super Bowl, right? So earlier this year, I forgot who put out the graphic at the bottom, but if you take a look at the colors, it really, like that purple, there's really only one team that has that purple color scheme. And then if you're trying to figure out who the other team could be, well, there are several teams that kind of had that reddish hue or whatever. But the best team that it could have been from the other conference would have been the San Francisco 49ers, who the 49ers came in preseason favorites, I want to say, to make it to the Super Bowl already. The Ravens weren't preseason favorites. So if you bet on the Ravens early, I need to go and check what the Vegas books were to see what the odds were for the Ravens to both make it to the Super Bowl and win. But I don't believe that the Ravens were high favorites going into the preseason. I think that there is something here. Next year, I probably shouldn't say this out loud because now that I am, the script writers are going to mess all of this up. But next year, I'm going to see what the color scheme is. And I'm going to pick those two teams to play in the Super Bowl at whatever the odds are and see if I can make some money on that pick. All right? But y'all tell me. Is there a conspiracy? I see that there was a score in the Buffalo Bills game. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to end the show. Buffalo Bills scored. We got Josh Allen with a pass to Khalil Shakir from 13 yards out. Extra point is good. It is now 24-20. Dare I say, this game's a shootout. All right, we have 44 points going into the third quarter. I like these type of games, all right? I like these type of games. So let's go back over here. Let's check out the chat, and then we're going to close today's show. He said, I heard CQ took a beating in fantasy football. Yes, he did. In every single fantasy that he played in. Let me change that because that didn't sound right. In every single fantasy football league that he played in, he did not make the playoffs. You have no idea how happy that makes me. I've been playing fantasy football with CQ since 2013. He's won one. I've won one. All right. I am going to publicly come out and say next year in the WTF Nation Radio League and in CQ and I's long-standing league that we've been in since 2013, I will win both leagues. You heard me say it. Coach, you can clip it. I will win both leagues. Michelle said, I just sent you a screenshot about Baltimore. Let me see if I could bring this up. The chocolate buttholes got him. Where'd you send the screenshot at, Michelle? Let me see where you sent this to. Where'd you send this to? All right, I'm looking. Oh, man. The content that you sent me, it's not popping up about... Oh! Okay, so she actually sent me a couple of different things. Y'all heard of Simone Biles' husband, right? I forget what his name is. But somebody made a graphic on ESPN, got in and hacked, and they changed his name to Simone Biles' husband. It's Jonathan something, which is funny because we talked about it here on the Sports Bar. Simone Biles and her husband were on the Pivot podcast in which they talked about how they met and everything like that. And the husband came out and said, I think men are the prize, right? And a lot of people vilified him for that because everybody knows who Simone Biles is. I'm not going to say everybody, because I don't like to deal in absolutes. A lot of people in the world, if you follow gymnastics and things anyway, you know who Simone Biles is. Simone Biles' husband, Jonathan Owens. Thank you, Michelle. Jonathan Owens isn't a household name the way that Simone Biles is. All right, if you're a gymnast from all over the world, you will likely know who Simone Biles is. American football isn't in every market the same way that gymnastics is, because gymnastics, you can compete on an international level every 4 years to get yourself in the international spotlight. NFL is just not built that way. So when Jonathan Owens came out and said, I believe all men are the prize, or men are the prize essentially, people are like, whoa, 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 unnamed person, Simone Biles' husband. What are you doing? Why are you making that statement? All right. Let's see. Oh, hey, Michelle, thank you for that photo. I have to close the show with that photo. This is hilarious. All right. Michelle just sent me a pic, and I'm going to see if I can get this pulled up here. And while I do, I want to tell everybody that watched the show, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Sports Bar. Coach is going to be back next week. I believe if you want to say that the start of the week is on Sundays, I'm doing the show this week. And I think that's it. There are no shows being produced on WTF Nation Radio this week. But let me see. All right. Coach said that he has two things that he wants to pass to everybody this evening. He said, number one, I'm pulling for Buffalo just so that we can stop seeing Taylor Swift at the games. Hey, man, y'all don't want to see Taylor Swift? Are y'all done with the Swifties? Okay. He said, number two, I now want a ghetto Super Bowl. Baltimore. Notice how I said that. Pause. Time out. Baltimore. My lady is from Baltimore. If I say Baltimore, I get corrected immediately. Okay? So you hear these announcers, they're Baltimore, pronouncing it right. All right? But Baltimore is how you're supposed to say it. All right? But Coach said, I want a ghetto Super Bowl. Baltimore versus Detroit in America's game during an election year. If that game doesn't make you see that the NFL as a watered down Hungers game, nothing will. That game will be a guaranteed riot in the winner's hometown. Oh man, I wish I could display this, but I can't because it'll reveal who Coach is. But oh man, hey, I'm going to take a screenshot of that and post that on the Sports Bar. Okay? So Coach, I'll handle that. You don't worry about that. I'll handle that. Let me read that again. I want a ghetto Super Bowl. Baltimore versus Detroit in America's game during an election year. If that game doesn't make you see the NFL as a watered down Hungers game, nothing will. That game will be guaranteed to have a riot in the winner's hometown. Yikes. Man, that is true. I believe that to be true. All right. Hey, Coach, that was excellent. Now, the last thing that I want to show here, let me get this graphic off and bring this other graphic on. I thought this was fantastic. And I'm doing this live, so y'all going to have to excuse me. And somebody captured this person at the Baltimore-Houston game and said, wait, MLK then came back to root for the Ravens? I have a team, and that team is the Baltimore Ravens. Oh, man. All right, y'all. That's our episode for today. We were only going to be an hour as I debuted my new equipment. It looks like the Kansas City Chiefs just scored again. Y'all saw it at the top. All right. It is now 26-24 pending the extra point. And Isaiah Pacheco ran off the left guard for 4 yards to get in the end zone. He now has 11 carries for 59 yards and 1 touchdown. Shoot out. I didn't think that this was going to be the most exciting game of this week's playoff slates, but it is. So let's close the show with this. Richard Bronco asked me what I thought of Mayo being hired as the Patriots coach. I think it's a great hire. Just like the Ravens gave Antonio Pierce the head coach, and so he is no longer interim. He is now the Raiders head coach, and a lot of people see him, they see his swag and everything like that, and they say that he's definitely going to bring the Raiders in and usher them into their next era. I don't see Antonio Pierce being a long time head coach. Mayo, on the other hand, I believe Mayo with the Patriots, Jared Mayo, is going to not next year, not next year. I think that in their division, the Patriots, it's going to take them a while to kind of get things turned around. It is what it is. Their NFL personnel, when you look at their roster, they have a very average roster on offense and defense. Nothing special about any of those players on that team. Okay? Their general manager, whoever that is going to really have to turn things around to get them back up at the top of their division. The Falcons fired Arthur Smith, and it's been rumored that Bill Belichick has been in talks with the Atlanta Falcons to take their head coaching job down there. All right. I think if that was the case and that happened, that would be interesting. The other thing to talk about, and I'm going to just do it before Coach puts it in the chat. Nick Saban retiring has left me sad. All right. Coach Saban is definitely going to be missed. The new head coach who came from Washington is going to have some big shoes to fill, but I believe that the powers that be at the University of Alabama wouldn't have picked him if he wasn't qualified. All right. There's been a lot of players on that Alabama Crimson Tide team that has jumped the portal. Isaiah Bond being one of them, which was kind of a surprise. The wide receiver is now going to the University of Texas to take his talents down there. The NIL and the transfer portal is pretty much amateur football now that you have the ability to jump ship and things like that. I also saw, and I don't have this story queued up, that there's one player that is about to play in his 13th season or his 9th college season because he's had several injuries and things like that. He's already graduated school. He's in graduate school right now, but he's petitioned and won to play in, I don't remember if it was 9 or 13. But I thought that was fascinating. I'm like, man, this dude is living the dream. If you could be 30-something years old playing college football, if I could, I would. Can we just say it like that? And the other interesting story that came out, and then we're going to close out for real. There's a wide receiver from my hometown, Antonio Kite. Everybody called him Spooty. He played for the University of Alabama this year. He entered the transfer portal and went to Auburn. I think he might be one of the first players ever that have done that. And if he were to go to Auburn and win the Iron Bowl and the SEC championship, he would legit be one of the only players to have won the Iron Bowl and the SEC championship for a rival team. All right. So we're going to end the show there again. Congratulations to Coach Vanderveer on her 1,203rd win, setting the new NCAA coaching wins mark. All right. Be sure to tune back in next Saturday, really every day, to see if there's going to be a show. Again, I can't remember if there were going to be any other shows this week. Thank you, Michelle. Cam McCormack. See, this is you. Shout outs to my associate producer. Cam McCormack is going to be playing in his 9th year in college football. He had several injuries that derailed a couple of those years, and he was also a transfer player as well and was granted an additional year of eligibility due to that. All right. So we got Buffalo being up in the building. Actually, that was earlier because, she said Buffalo pull up. Oh, Buffalo pull up. Yes. I need to be 4-0. King Stradamus' prediction needs to go the way that it needs to go. All right. From me to you and everybody, thank you. We'll be back next Sunday at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern with another episode of The Sports Bar. Mike Larson, Mad Mike, my bad. Mad Mike, I heard what you said. I read what you said, I should say. And I'm going to go on a streak this year. I'm going to have the longest show without a cancellation. Hey, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I am the actual King Smith. This has been another episode of The Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. If you have not hit that like button yet, mash that like button, and we out. Peace. Let me actually do this. Boop.